Morning, everybody. It's Miss Winfield here, ready for today's maths. So let's get started. Before we can begin, I just need to say I'm so sorry for this big watermark popping up, but I have reported it to IT and we're going to get rid of it. But we're just going to have to sort of deal with it today, if that's okay. So let's get cracking with a rewind. Okay, so ready? Rewind, rewind. And we are going to look at these two representations. And I want you to tell me which one represents the number 16. So can you pause the video, work it out, okay, count how many tens, how many ones. Step 1, identify the tens. Step 2, identify the ones and put them into the place value grids and see if you can tell me which one represents 16. So pause me now. Right then, let's do it together. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get rid of that half of the screen so I can focus all of my attention on this part. So I'm going to do step 1. I'm going to identify the tens. Now, I can see one group of 10 here. So I've got 1 10. Now I'm going to do step 2, where I identify the ones and I'm going to count them. Well, I recognise straight away that that is representing 6 cubes because it looks like a number 6 on a dice, but I'm just going to check and I'm going to count them in groups of 2 to make it easier. Here we go. 2, 4, 6. Yes, I was right. I've got 6 ones. So I've got 1 10 and 6 ones. So I have got the number 16. So my question was, which one of these represents 16? Well, that one does. Did you get that? Or did you get something a little bit different? Maybe you did. Let's have a look at this side. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we've not got, I'm going to cover up this half of the screen. We've not got the base 10 equipment this time. We've got place value counters, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. Step 1, I'm going to identify the tens. Well, I can see I've got 1 10 because I've got 1. That number 1's gone a little bit dodgy. There we go. I've got 1 counter that is worth 10. Okay, and now I'm going to identify my ones. Let's see. Oh, that's a number 6 as well because they look familiar from when I've seen them on a dice. I'm going to count them in ones this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, if I've got 1 10 and 6 ones, that represents 16 as well. So, Miss Winfield, I was trying to trick you then, and I said which one represents 16 when actually they both represented 16, didn't they? Because they were worth the same. So, now that our brains are warmed up and ready, let's look at what we are doing today. Okay, so let me just tweak this date because of our snow day. We're a little bit behind, aren't we? But that's okay because we had loads of super fun in the snow. So what are we going to do today? We are going to utilise, that just means use, okay, our knowledge of tens and ones to help us solve a problem. So it's going to be a little bit of new learning because we're going to be looking at a problem, but it's also going to be a little bit of old learning because we are going to use the skills that we have learned to help us. And why are we doing it? So that we can identify the number of objects. So let's have a look at our discover. The first question says, how many pens are there? So pause the video now. Can you count the pens for me? Right, let's count them together. Here we go. Ready? Let me zoom in a little bit. That's better. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Did you get 15? And if you didn't get 15, maybe you've overcounted or undercounted. Okay, so make sure it's always a good idea to sort of cross them out as you count them, then you're not going to count them again. So I've got 15 pens, okay? And now my next question says, how many pens fit in a pack? Well, here's the pack. So let's see how many can fit in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have got space for 10 pens in my pack. So if I was to put 10 pens in the pack, how many pens would be on the outside? So I've got 15 altogether. Okay. How many would fit in the pack? We know 10. How many would be on the outside? So let's see if we can fill in our place value grid using the number 15. Okay. So in my pack, I will have one group of 10. And then on the side, I will have 5 ones because 5 of them, unfortunately, won't fit in. Okay. So let's look at this question. There is one pack of 10 pens and 3 more. How many are there? So we've got one, let me zoom in again. That's better. We've got one whole pack full of 10. Okay, so we've got 10. We've got one group of 10. How many ones have we got here on the outside? How many have we got? Well done if you said 3. And if we look at our 10 frame, okay, so this one is using real life objects and this one is using concrete resources like we use in school. So you can see this full 10 frame is representing the full pack, and these 3 counters on the side are representing the 3 pens that won't fit. Okay, so we know there are 13 pens because 110 and 3 ones equals 13 because I've got 10 and 3 more. Right then, let's have a go at this one. It says, how many pens are there in 2 packs? Now, I wonder if you can pause the video now and have a little go at this. Okay, think about how many pens, how many pens does a pack hold? Okay, and if you've got 2 that are full, what do you think? Pause me now. Right then, let's have a look together. How many pens are there in 2 packs? Well, let me look at this pack because this is full. And I found out earlier that a pack holds 10. Okay, so I know there are going to be 10 pens in that pack. And, oh, okay, well, this pack is full as well. So this pack will also hold 10 pens. So how many groups of 10 do I have here? How many 10s? If I'm going to do step 1 and identify the 10s, how many 10s do I have? Well done if you said you have got 2 10s, Miss Winfield. You've got one group of 10 here and one group of 10 here. So you've got 2 groups of 10. How many ones do I have? How many pens do I have left over on the side that won't fit in the packs? Super stuff. If you said, well, we haven't got any ones this time. When we did step 2, identify the ones, we didn't have any because I can't see any left over. So we've got 0 ones. We haven't got any ones. So if we've got 2 10s and 0 ones, we have got 20 pens altogether. There are 20 pens in 2 packs. Right then, let's have a look at our challenge. So it says, how many pens are there? How many 10s are there? And how many ones? Goodness me. Right, let's do this one together. Let's zoom in. Because Miss Winfield is blind as a bat. There we go. So I'm going to look at my pack, okay? Is my pack full? Yes or no? Is it full? Well done if you said it's not full. It's not full. So at the moment, it's quite tricky for me to do step 1, which is to identify the 10s because it's not clear. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill up my pack and I'm going to take these 2, I've got 2 spaces here, look. I'm going to take these 2 pens and pretend I've put them in the packs. There they are. They can be the pens. Okay, so I've taken them out of here and I've put them in the pack. Now my pack is full. Okay, so I can see I've got one group of 10. I've got 1 10. Now then, let's count how many pens are left over. And remember, I'm not going to include these ones because I have moved those into my pack. So I'm going to scribble them out because they have gone. I'm going to focus on these ones. Okay, let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 ones. Okay, so if I think about my grid of my 10s and my ones, I've got one group of 10 and 6 ones. So 10 add 6. Let's put 10 in our head. 10, and we're going to add 6 more. Ready? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so there are 16 pens altogether. That actually looked a little bit tricky at first and I wasn't sure, but then I used all of my skills that I've learned this week with you guys and I got there in the end. So let's have a look. This little girl, I think her name is Astrid, is saying there is 1 pack and 8 more. So there are 18. Now, how do you think Astrid got this answer? Let me just rub this out so it's nice and clear. How do you think Astrid got that answer? Where did she get 18 from? Because we know that she's wrong, she's incorrect. Okay, she's made a mistake, but she's going to learn from it in a minute. Where did she go wrong? See if you can pause the video and work it out. So I'm hoping that some of you said, well, Miss Winfield, I think Astrid must have assumed that this pack was full, so it was worth 10, and that the ones on the side, those are 8 ones, so she added 10 and 8 and got 18. Okay, but Flo is sitting here and Flo is saying to Astrid, but is the pack full? And that's where Astrid has realised that, oh no, the pack wasn't full. So at the moment, this isn't worth 10. And we figured that out, didn't we? And we moved some pens across to make it easier for ourselves. So well done if you managed to figure out where Astrid went wrong. So it is going to be your turn now, okay? And you're going to have these sheets. I'm going to put them on Class Story. If you've not got a printer, don't worry. You can just draw them in your books. So number 1, complete the sentences. There is how many 10s and how many 1s? And how many sweets are there altogether? Let me make it nice and big. There we go. Question B, there is how many 10s, how many 1s, how many sweets altogether? That's easy. Question 2, show 16 counters. Okay, so this one, some children struggled with this a little bit, okay, last week, and that's fine because we all make mistakes. Now, I know that Harrison, you struggled a little bit with this, okay, but I'm going to go through it with you now. So, you have been given the number, the value, this number is worth 16. So we need to work backwards, okay? So we need to look at the number 16 and break it down into 10s and 1s. So in the number 16, I know that the place value of this numeral 1, it's worth 10. So we've got one group of 10, okay? And the place of this numeral, this is worth 6 1s. So on your first 10 frame, you are going to show me 1 10. Okay, so you might fill up this 10 frame. There we go. A little bit messy, but yours will be much neater. And on this 10 frame, you're going to represent the 1s. And you have got 6 1s. Okay, so that's all it's asking you to do. It's asking you to break the number down and represent it for me. So let me go on to the next sheet. There we go. So it says match the number sentence to the 10 frame. So this looks quite fun actually. So you've got to think, oh, I've got 1 10 and 2 1s. There's 1 10. Oh, but there's more than 2 1s there. So it's not that one. Let's look at this one. Oh, yeah, there's 1 10. I don't even need to count because the 10 frame is full. And how many ones have I got? Oh, I've got 2. So they must be a pair. And you've got to do the same for the other ones. Question 4, fill in the boxes. 1 10 and 6 1s is equal to what? What value, okay, what number would go in there? 19 is equal to how many 10s and how many 1s? And so on. And then this last question, complete the number sentence. 13 is equal to how many 10s and how many 1s? Okay, so let me just go back so they are all, just in case you want to pause the video on here to draw them, there we go, into your books. So I'll put those on Class Story for you. Make sure you send your work across for me as you always do, because you are fantastic. And have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you all on Monday.